Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Naomi and today I have a really fun practice for you. So this is a quick one. In about 6 minutes, you're going to build up into crow pose. Think that's impossible? Well, let me prove it to you. Let's go. So we've got a really dynamic class today, so I want to start with just some side-to-side lunges. So you're in a wide stance, toes point forward, heels point back, a little bit of a bend in your knees as you fold forward. A little bit of a bend in your knees. Okay, now shift your weight over to the right. Right knee bends. Hips go back, so you're not like swinging your hips forward so your knee isn't pitching past your ankle. The energy of your hips is going back. Okay, then shift back through center. Hips go to the left. Again, the energy of your hips is going back, not forward and down, back. And then through center to the right. And you can move your arms as much as you want. Right, your hands might stay a little bit more central. Mine actually haven't moved very much, but you could walk over a little bit more if you really want to. That's fine. And then shift to the left. Again, the energy of your hips is going back. And then one more time to the right. Whew. And then one more time to the left. Okay, then turn towards your left leg, because since you're there, right hand goes down, left arm up. Oh. Right hand down, left arm up. And then lower your right knee down. Lower your right knee down. Take your left leg back. It's a gate pose. Oh. And just give yourself a really nice stretch through the sides of your body. Oh. Okay, take a full breath in here. I know we're holding. Full breath out. Left hand goes down. Left knee down. Step your right foot up. Right arm up. Twist. You can lift your right or left knee as well. You can keep it down. It's just a twist, so it's really up to you. Rotate your torso towards your right thigh and up toward the ceiling. Okay. And then lower your left knee. Left hand goes down. Sweep your right leg back and lengthen through your side body. A big, big, big stretch through your side body. And then bring your right hand down, downward facing dog. Check something while you're in downward facing dog. Okay, good. Had this moment where I wasn't sure that I'd actually turn my mic on. And just take a few breaths here. So we're going to get into the flow in just a moment. It's a fairly dynamic flow, so I want to work through two of the transitions. Okay? So lower your knees down. Lower your knees to the floor. Take your left arm and thread it underneath your right arm. Up on your fingertips of the right hand. And this is not an unfamiliar transition that we're going to do. We've done it lots of times, but it's still kind of a tricky one. Okay, so you're going to scoot your knees toward that extended arm, your left arm, and slide your left hip to the floor. Yep. And then take your right arm over into a twist. Okay, then bring your knees up, hips to center, elbows in for bridge pose. Okay, so hips go up, hips go down. You can take your arms back wide, and we're going to come back the way that we came in for the most part. So knees go over to the left, you're back in the twist, right arm over your left arm. Unthread your left hand and come back into table. The knees underneath you. And then we'll go to the other side. So this is the first transition that's, a little interesting. Come up onto your left fingertips, thread right arm underneath your left arm. Okay? And then again, your knees are going to scoot towards your right arm, and right hip slides to the floor. You can adjust your upper body as you need. Left arm goes over. Left arm goes over to the left. And then roll fully onto your back so your knees come up. Elbows come in towards your body. Hips up, bridge pose. Hips down. Okay, and then you can come back the way that you came into it. So knees go to the right. Left arm goes over your right arm. Okay, unthread your right arm and knees come back underneath you in any order, really. So you're back into table pose. Okay, now, next thing that we're doing, next thing that we're going to do, coming up to stand, all the way up to stand. Okay, and just a few squats. Squat down and up. Not necessarily super quickly, just squat down and up. Okay, squat down and up. Whew. Yep. And then next time you're down on the squat, stay there, hands to the floor. Press into your hands, shift forward, crow pose. Okay, now you might not go up into crow pose. You might just get hands to the floor and be like, this is fine. You might lift one foot up and squeeze it toward the center. Press into your fingers and lift the other foot up. Ooh. And then place your feet down and fold forward. Okay, so again, whether or not you actually lift both feet up away from the floor doesn't matter. You also could just stay in the squat and have your palms together at your chest. Okay, we're going to do one more. Just to do it. Well, not just to do it. There's a reason for it, but please. Because there's always a reason. Hands on the floor. Shift forward, squeeze your knees against your upper arms. And in varying stages of this, so you might just have yourself in that deep squat for a moment and come on up. Okay, you might be all the way down on your hands, but lift one foot up. Press into your finger pad, squeeze your foot in, and bring the other foot up to meet it. It's been a while since we've done crow. Okay, nice. Good, Julie. And then come down and rest. Take a minute, or a couple of seconds anyway. Well, there you have it. Crow pose in 6 minutes or less. Now, whether or not you lifted both of your feet off of the ground into crow pose doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter. It probably matters more to you than it does to me, because that's how these things tend to go when it comes to physical goals, right? Achieving physical goals. But when I say it doesn't matter, is that first of all, like in terms of crow pose, if you even lift one foot off of the ground, that's crow pose, right? If you lift both feet off of the ground, that's like icing on the crow cake. If you were going to eat, anyway, you get the idea. You get the idea. Okay, what matters more, and my whole intention in sharing this particular practice was to offer you, just some insight into the idea that maybe, just maybe, you don't need 30 minutes to build up into the poses that challenge you. And that in fact, when you give yourself a shorter time frame to get there, maybe, just maybe, you'll have more success. Now, why might you have more success? Well, number one, if you are waiting forever, right? If you're doing a 30-minute practice or a 60-minute practice and crow pose is at the very end of that practice, you might be so exhausted by the time you get there that even the idea of doing crow pose will feel just overwhelmingly challenging. Okay? And then, adding to it, if you were going to do a more challenging pose, maybe if it comes quicker, like if you are doing it sooner in your practice, you have less time to worry about it. You can just go for it. And there's something kind of exciting about that, just giving it a try. So hopefully attempting crow pose in this shorter time span gave you that excitement, or, just some sort of sense of, maybe this is actually possible if I keep trying. Okay, whether or not you got both feet off of the floor. Okay, now, this particular practice came from a warm-up in my online studio, Move with Naomi. And it was a warm-up because we were adding crow pose into a flow. And so I wanted everyone to be ready for it early on so that when we put crow pose into the flow, even if you didn't do the full pose, and I put that in quotes because I think that's a really silly term and very relative, right? Because as I said, lifting 1 foot off of the floor is plenty. But I wanted everyone to feel prepared. And so by doing crow pose in our warm up, it sort of, just got some of those like nerves out to say, okay, well, we've already tried it once. Now, why not like toss it into a flow and see what happens, right? Take some of the worry out of it. Now, if you want to try that entire class, you can if you are a member in my online studio, Move with Naomi. You can always join using the coupon in the description below, the coupon and the link, and that'll give you 50% off of your first month. So whether you happen to practice with me there, or whether you keep practicing with me here on YouTube, or whether you do both because you can, I'm really grateful that you're here. Thanks for hanging out with me today, for doing crow pose, for giving it a shot, and for just being here as always. I'm grateful for you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.